Hi again, everybody. What you see before you is a new product that I just tried out called Parafilm M, and I got it from Micromark a while ago, and when I originally purchased it I didn't realize that, as it says here in the instruction sheet, it says something about, we do not recommend the use of Parafilm M as a mask when using fast drying lacquer paints. I purchased this stuff in the hope that it would be easier to use than tape, but I didn't know it was not recommended for lacquers. And then I didn't use it for a long time because I was worried that maybe what that meant was that the lacquer paint would melt the film. But when faced with the problem of masking the internals of this knee joint so that I could paint the armor around it, I thought to myself, well, I'll give it a try. I'll do some tests and give it a try. So on this piece of sheet styrene, I wrapped some of this masking film around it. And actually, let me show you what this stuff is like. I'll just cut off a little slice of it here. And that it won't cut for some reason. These scissors are not my best. Here we go. When you remove the film from the backing, it's like some kind of wax impregnated flexible plastic film, and what happens is, it's hard to see against the white background, but you stretch it out and it makes it really thin, and it kind of activates it so that it gets to have a little very, very slightly sticky feel to it. Certainly plenty of stick to adhere to a plastic surface, but not nearly enough stick to peel any paint off. At least that's the hope. So I tried wrapping this sheet of styrene with some, and as you can see, it didn't melt the film at all. The edge is still quite strong, and it also gave a really nice sharp edge to the mask. So what I've done is, this is the bare piece. I sliced a piece of the masking film and stretched it and then wrapped it around the internals of the knee joint, flexing the knee one direction to wrap and then the other direction to wrap the other side. And I used this toothpick to kind of poke the masking film in around in the tighter areas where I couldn't reach with my fingers, and I am very, very hopeful that it will work nicer than any masking tape has ever worked, and I guess we'll see whether that's true in a moment. When I go to paint the armor parts, what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosely wrap something around this side to paint this side, so that as I'm spraying in this direction, it won't get under too much under the stuff in this side, and then I'll have to reverse that, go in the other direction, because I would like it if the inside of the knee armor area could stay as black as possible. And we'll see how that turns out. So here you see I have done what I said I would there, just kind of loosely wrapping the joint so that I can paint this side of the joint over here. And I'll be holding the airbrush at an angle pointing, that direction along the part. And then I'll reverse it when I go to paint the other side of the armor. And I actually just reused a piece of the parafilm, so that's another unexpected nice feature. It seems to be reusable. It still has plenty of flexibility and stickiness to it. Now the last things that we saw were the legs wrapped with the parafilm, and the knee joint is still wrapped. I want you to see how I primed all these parts that I'm going to be showing you with Mr. Base White 1000. It's a white primer as opposed to my usual gray primer that I use. You can see how wrapping the joints top and bottom alternately, I kept the interior pretty good and dark there, protected from the white primer, and the surfaces of what will be the blue armor are well painted. I had to go over the seam line several times, spraying and sanding with 1000 grit water dry sandpaper, and then spraying again, and I pretty well got the seams to disappear. And then I used, so here are both the legs, you see, and I used this old bottle of Evangelion color, pretty dark blue shade, to pre-shade around the edges and in some of the detail areas. Similarly with the guards for the forearm, the armor for the forearms, these two pieces, and some of the upper arm parts that go over the interior skeleton for the upper arms, right? And the final color, I'll be going over the white areas with Mr. Color Bright Blue, and I'll see if I want to do a coating over that of some Pearl X or something like that. Maybe just some micro pearl to make it nice and shiny, but we'll see how that goes. And then the pieces that go on the backs of the legs, I also primed and pre-shaded these, again priming with the white and pre-shading with this dark green Evangelion color. One of the things I love about lacquer paints is that even old dried out lacquer can be renewed just by dumping in a bunch of lacquer thinner and letting it soak in and dissolve the pigment. So the next thing we'll see, oh, and here's the shade that I'm going to be putting over the back lower leg armors. It's metallic green. I figure the best way to end this video will be to show you the result of the final paint job. I'm so pleased with this Parafilm M stuff. I already peeled one off. It just comes off so nicely and clean. And bend it back a little bit to release from underneath. No sticking. Alright, I'll speed this up a little bit, I'm sure. There we go. So there you see, none of the paint's been torn off by the masking film. It's been really nicely protected inside the joint. There's the green metallic and the bright blue over the dark blue pre-shade. Looks really very nice. Here also is the way the arms turned out. I'm very pleased with the result.